Okay. Okay, it's recorded. So hi, this is Lizzie Flanagan with Near Falls Media, and I'm here with O'Shea Edwards. Um, are you in the Ring of Honor bubble right now?
Yes, I was in here, got in about early yesterday evening, so it was nice to actually like sleep in for a little bit, and then the reality of, oh man, I can't leave for like a little while. It's like, well, let me find something to do. So, but this isn't my first one. It's like maybe my third or fourth one. So, at this point in time, it's just like, okay, we I know what it is. I get it.
Yeah. What's like the day to day like in the bubble? Because I keep seeing selfies from wrestlers, but I don't know what they're actually doing there.
Really, the day to day is what you make it. Like there is a gym here, but we have to schedule time to get in and do that. Of course, you just two at a time, but you distance and you mask and all that good stuff. A lot of us game, so you have a lot of guys bringing in like PlayStation, Xboxes, all that good stuff. The only downside is the internet sucks here,
Oh,
because everybody and their mom's on it. So it just so unless you pay the $5, which we're not gonna do,
yeah.
to like get the hoity-toity
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, you just kind of deal with it, no big deal. But a lot of it is just find ways to kill the time. A lot of guys, this is when most people start doing um like their content for like Twitter and TikTok and all that good stuff. So guys come up with different ideas, and because like everything, the world revolves around a group chat. So we may be in different floors or different rooms. We're still all goofing off one another group chat wise, talking about making this and making that. So a lot of it is just getting yourself mentally prepared for the week that's going to happen. Because even like tomorrow we all have to do COVID testing. Then some guys are going to go load in. You have production that comes in, so they can build stage sets, and they got to build the pretty much build the space for everybody and all that good stuff. And then people can do pre tapes, and then however long we have to tape, we just follow the schedule and go from there. Usually, once everything gets started, everything kind of starts to really start to move smoothly. It's just usually getting everybody here on time and kind of figuring out what everybody's got to do, and then the hardest part is getting everybody here. Once everybody's here, everything falls into
Yeah, no, that definitely is weird adaptation, I'd say, for COVID. But I mean, I'm happy Ring of Honor is
place.
able to do it. How much
Yeah.
taping do you guys do? Like, how many
Uh,
matches do you think you have when you're in one like bubble?
it really going to depend. Usually, it's going to be between 2 or 3 days, depending on what's being called for. And then usually we're taping like every other month. So by the time this is all said and done, the last time we taped should be starting coming to a close. So usually by next month, new stuff can start rolling in, and this, that, and the other. So we try to stay like I guess like 2 3 months ahead of ourselves, just so that it's ready to go and all that good stuff. So we're never behind, especially if something happen. Um, and usually you don't know how many matches you have until usually like 2 days before. um, but you're going to be there for a certain amount of time anyway. So it's like, sweet, I have one match, or sweet, I have two, and some guys may have three. So it really kind of depends on what creative fast for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was not expecting it to be that long. I thought you were gonna say
Yeah,
like, oh, a few weeks. Like,
yeah. No, yeah. Usually when we tape, it's an all day ordeal. Like some of us are showing up at like 8 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we probably don't leave till 8 o'clock at night.
okay.
Yeah, big old oof.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I don't want to like give away any spoilers. I'm trying to think of a question that's
No,
like,
you good. You
yeah,
good.
because I know some matches like haven't happened yet, but they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess can you give any like previews for like I know you had that big match with Sledge in Ring of Honor. That was really good. But do you have
Yeah.
any like kind of upcoming like goals or things you're up to?
Honestly, you know just as much as I do. Like we've wrestled a handful of times already. When that comes out, we don't know. I kind of find out along with everybody else. But really, we get told, okay, you have X amount of matches. You don't know what you are doing. Usually, it's about the day before. And that's one to keep spoilers down, and then to kind of like keep everything, because things change all the time. So, it's kind of the world we live in right now. So it's just one of those things that, I could say one thing and then by 24 hours later, it's like, oh, by the way, that's not happening anymore. It's like, ooh, hey. So it's just one of those things where, you know, we, as much as we try to keep things under wraps, like things change all the time. So it's really hard to kind of like figure out what you're doing unless you're just like you have already know what's going on because that's what the story's been set up for.
Yeah. How does that work with like filming promos or anything? Like if you don't really know that far in advance.
Usually they tell you what they want, and what how they're gonna go get it. Um, when it comes to Ring of Honor, I don't really film anything unless they ask me to, just so we can keep like that continuity of what's going on because I don't want to like give stuff away too early. I don't want to give stuff away too late. So usually it's like, all right, well, hey, we're going to film this, this, and this. Okay, cool. Which is actually rather nice to actually have somebody tell me like, hey, we need to film this, and I don't have to worry about it. Like, great, I just got to show up. Cool, let's do that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think that's probably a unique kind of thing that wrestlers have to, I don't want to say struggle with, that seems like too heavy of a term, but it's like continuity things with things being pre-taped and then you're at another show and it's like, I don't really
Yeah,
have this belt yet, but I do. Yeah.
right. It's great that it's great. That's the one thing I don't have to think about anymore.
Yeah.
At least with Ring of Honor, I don't have to pay attention to it. It's hard to do that on the indies. It's hard to keep that line of continuity because it's so volatile all the time. Things change on a dime. New people come in all the time and all that good stuff. So it's nice to know at least for Ring of Honor, I don't have to worry about it. I just got to be somewhere in a certain amount of time. Cool, I'll be there, and then they tell me what to do. We'll go from there.
hmm Um, I also wanted to ask, so I know 3 months it's gonna be filmed. Are there any talks of like returning to fan shows? That's not a term. Like going back to like having a live audience.
Um, it's been at least from what I've heard, it's been talked about, just with Governor Hogan here in Maryland kind of opening it up to 50%. But because we already had this in the books like months at a time, like he's like, hey, we're already here, so let's go ahead and just keep doing what we're doing. Because we're Maryland has a commission, so we're trying to do everything by the book for them, so that and when we decide to do this again, we can have people here. How that's going to play out, I don't know. That's up to people who make a lot more money than I do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Trying to think, what is 3 months away from now? I've lost all sense of time. It's March.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's actually probably less than that's almost like 2.5 months from now. It's actually it's yeah. This year's running by, and I'm like, that's fine with
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd rather have this year go too short than too long. That was
me.
last
Yeah,
year.
yeah. It was last year. Exactly.
Um, so I guess kind of heading into this year and things opening up, are there any like more general goals that you have either in Ring of Honor or just like on the indie circuit that you are excited for?
Yeah. Honestly, with things kind of taking this upward trend in terms of COVID cases down, deaths are down, hospitalizations are down. States kind of taking that stand, kind of open up. And I tell people, I'm like, I'm rooting for them. Like I may not agree with it, but it's like I'm rooting for them. Like who, like I tell people all the time, like who's not rooting for Texas right now? Like if Texas nails this, we're going to be all right, folks. But at the same time, and I'm going to look, be be real optimistic about the way things are going. Hopefully, I can, start becoming a little bit more, travel within the country. All that stuff I've done has been in the South and a lot on the East Coast and Northeast, some of the Midwest. But my thing is like, all right, cool. I've seen this half of the country. I'm ready to see the other half of it. So let that be with Ring of Honor. Let that be indie. Like that's fine. I don't care. I'm going. So a lot of it is to like, cross into new states. I want all the matches. I want to wrestle, the people who everyone says they're the best because that's how I gauge myself. It's just like, oh, somebody calls you the best, cool. I want to wrestle you because I want to find out for myself, and then I want to find out if what they say is true. Like, are you the best? Then let's find out. That's how I. That's in my mind. That's how I get better. That's how the business gets better. That's
Mhm.
how shows get better. is when you put people who call themselves the best against people who call themselves the best. You know, you let the cards fall where they may. And ultimately, that's what I want to do. I want to wrestle the best. I don't consider myself the best wrestler in the world, but I am the best at what I do. Because no one does it like me. So yeah, I consider myself one of the best at what I do. And for those who think, oh, I'm better than him, I always am like, all right, well, prove it.
Yeah. So then I guess how would you define, like, you said you're the best at what you do. How would you define what you do exactly?
Sure, it's like I tell people something. If you come to see me wrestle and you expect like this technical masterpiece, man, you're about to be really disappointed. It's just not what I do. It's more of a just athletic brawler type style. I tell people all the time, like, don't let the size fool you. Like, I'm quick.
Hmm.
I can. You want to run? Let's run. You want to fly? All right, we'll try it, but like, let's not get too excited. If you want to just hit the dog sign at each other, cool, man. Let's do that too. I call myself like a jack of many trades, just a master of none. But if anything, I like to like throw people really far, and I call it like I'm eating for distance here. You know, like I'm trying to deposit people into other zip codes, other time zones. You know, I want to put you in a place that you didn't expect to be at, and you had nothing to do with it. Like it just happened.
Yeah. Sounds like a good goal for wrestling. Just throw people really far.
Yeah, throw people really far. Exactly. Against their will. Against their will. Throw them really far.
Yeah. Can you think of like a match that you've had where you felt like you really were like at your best, that like I guess kind of like, what do you think your best match has been, or what do you think your favorite match has been?
Yeah, I have a handful of them. And they actually happened within like 6 months of one another. Me and at the collective, me and Jake, that whole weekend was amazing for me. It was me and Jake something, me and Calvin Tateman, me against Shadi, and then most recently me against Lee Moriarty. That's when I felt as if like I'm in my stride.
Mhm.
I don't feel as if I'm at my best yet. Um, which in my I'm like, man, that's scary. But it was those four matches where I'm like, I can go up against anybody, and it's not an issue of like holding my own, but I can set the pace, and I'm daring you to keep up with me. That's when I knew I was like, I got this. Like these are the matches that I wanted. These are the matches that I've I've asked for, and people gave them to me. And so it was just like, you can talk all this crap if you want to, but that bell's got to ring, and all that nonsense you were talking, now you got to back it up. So I talk a lot. I talk a lot of crap. So it's like I got to make sure I can back all that up.
You need an insurance policy for trash talk.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
It's not trash talk if you can back it up.
oh yeah, it's just talk.
Yeah, it's all talk unless you can back it up. Exactly.
I know you named really different types of wrestlers there when you talked about your favorite matches, like oh my gosh, Lee Moriarty and technical wrestling, but in Jake something. I think he's a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a favorite type of opponent to go against?
Honestly, I like the technical guys. It's like, don't get me wrong, the hoss fights are fun.
Yeah.
But you know what to get. You know what you're getting out of a hoss fight. It's like when you go to McDonald's, you know what you're getting. Like let's not fool around. You know what you're here for. But some of the smaller guys, technical guys, those are fun. Because then it becomes this issue of, you have to change your game. You have to adapt a little bit. They're not going to hit you, at least
You
hard.
shouldn't.
Yeah, they shouldn't. But for a fact that like, man, if they get their hands on you, you have to defend yourself. So it's an issue of, literally it's a boxer against a wrestler. Like who's kung fu's better than who's kung fu, and then you get to find out. So those are fun because I have to think. I have to really be on my game. It's not like two bulls in a ring. It's a little bit more delicate, and because of that, I'm like, all right, cool. Like I know I can handle just about anybody. It'll be okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think those are kind of like at least my favorite kind of matches when you have the big like mismatch of styles. The Haas
Mhm.
fights are fun. But yeah, I think it's definitely it becomes almost like a chess game because you have very
Yeah,
different skill sets. Yeah.
that's the
Um,
perfect way to put it.
yeah. So yeah, thank you for that. I kind of wanted to move on to the more like general question
Mhm,
of
mhm.
yeah, the recent outing of the Synergy owner. And yeah, I was I was so excited when you debuted there because I was a writer for Synergy and I was like looking forward. I was going to use that as an avenue to interview, so I'm happy we still
Mhm.
got to talk without that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what was your kind of reaction like when you found out?
Can I cuss? Can I cuss? Is that
Sure.
okay? Yeah. The first word out of my mouth was "God damn it." Um, it was the first word. It's all I could do, man. Like the wrestling is corny at its core. Like we know it. We get it. We understand it. And unfortunately, when it comes to like it being corny, some of your most unsavory people slide themselves in. This sucked because at least in that general area, this is like the third time this has happened where you've watched the promotion grow like really quickly, and then man, the rug gets swept, like pulled right from underneath your feet, and you're just standing around like, man, like again, this happened again. Um, and it's not even so much about me because, and this is not so much being egotistical. Like I'm going to be okay. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to be fine. It was the people there who it was everyone else that I felt for because I'm like, man, listen, not everybody's at this level where I'm at. So what happens to them? And the three times this has happened, like I've been there with them, and I'm like, man, this sucks, man. Like, what happens now? Um, this it's without going into too much detail about who I don't even say his name anymore because I just refuse. I'm like, I guess a part of me is like, man, you knew what you were doing, man. You knew what you were doing. Wrestling is small. We run in the same circles. This was going to get out. How
Mhm.
big does that spotlight get before you don't like? I guess ultimately, like, dude, what was the end game? Like, what were you going to do where this wasn't going to come out? This isn't like the Avengers where like Doctor Strange like there's only one. I was like, no, man, there's zero. Like we were all going to
Mhm.
find out. At this point in time, the only question was how big is your fall going to be? Um, thankfully, it didn't get that big. It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt any less. But imagine if this got to a level of like beyond or something like that, and then
Yeah.
this came out. Man, there's a number of people that are just gone, and we're all looking foolish. So it sucks. I'm glad it came out. I'm glad people are just like, nah, man, we don't do this. You don't do this. But at the same time, it's this is hard. This is difficult because that betting process, like I said, it was a fake name.
Yeah.
Honestly, and it was a fake name in a business where everyone uses a fake name.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh, you guys should have Googled that, and we're all like, don't be all, come on. But it sucks. But you know, I'm gonna be optimistic about it. You can't get a rainbow like without rain. Shit like stuff like that. Even a garbage can gets a steak. So with that, this opens up for somebody who wants to do something right to step in and do it. The only downside is everyone's watching with a microscope. So
Yes.
I tell people, if you're going to get into wrestling, you better make sure you know what you're getting into, and you better make sure that like outside of wrestling, you have dot your I's and cross your T's because the minute that you slip up or the minute you think you're gonna get away with something, nah man, somebody's gonna get you.
Yeah, for it just got really dark all of a sudden as you're talking.
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, it's like that was so weird because he went by a fake name, but everyone does. So you don't
Right.
really think much of it.
And you don't hi, my name is so and so. Okay, cool. Now what's your real name? Like, come on, I'm not doing
Yeah. Yeah. That was such a weird day.
that. Oh,
Um,
such a
and all the Mania weekend shows canceled now.
just like
Uh,
that. So all those guys who had those matches, they were really hyped for those matches. Just just gone, just gone.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I think. Oh, where'd you go?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I think everyone's pretty okay. I know Jordan Oliver's appearing at GCW.
Hmm.
Uh, I know, yeah, Joey Silver just got signed to Nightmare Factory. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I definitely like to. Oh, and Ace Austin got the I almost said TNA title, the Impact
yeah,
X
yeah.
Division title.
X Division, yeah.
Bless you. Um, yeah. So I definitely feel for the roster.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just is
But
what is it about wrestling that like enables these people to like
it's
permeate?
like it's corny. It's so corny. But once you get, like I said, once you get to the level of like Impact, Ring of Honor, a AEW, WWE, things become a little bit more about business and stuff like that doesn't fly. So it's just we strive to get to the point where you don't have to worry about that anymore. Um, at least to me, that's always been like the goal, to where like I don't have to do indies anymore. But at the same time, like as much as I say that, like I owe everything I am to bring on independent scene. So, it's a catch 22. You don't want to be on them forever, but you owe who you are because you've been on them forever. So it's just one of the things like, all right, cool. Like I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tough.
Mm-hmm.
I think also, especially last year, with all the names coming out and speaking out, I think
Yep.
now there's a new like vigilance almost, which is good.
It's very
Um,
good.
it's like almost like you're cleaning out a wound, and I think it's painful, but like you need to
It
do
has
it.
to happen. You
Yeah,
need to. And I tell people all the time, like it takes zero effort to like not be a piece of shit.
yeah,
It takes zero effort to not be a piece of shit. And so, but at the same time, like when all that stuff came out, I told somebody before, I'm like, listen, like this sucks and this hurts, but let's be real. These guys just didn't wake up one day and go, I'm gonna be a scumbag today. It's like, no, man, this was a learned behavior from somebody else, and then they learned it from somebody else, and then they learned it from somebody else. So while we can condemn all these people for what they did, and rightfully so, like we need to start taking more accountability for the people that they've been around and they've earned it from, and start like, hey man, no, this isn't cool because you start this chain reaction because you're a piece of shit. And we are the sum of the people we associate ourselves with. So, if you hang around with pieces of shit, chances are you're a piece of shit yourself. So, we that's one thing I tell like some of the younger guys. I'm like, hey man, like watch who you hang around with. Like you even if you aren't that person, dude, appearances, man, they'll get you. And you only get one first impression. So if you hang around with people who are unsavory, by proxy, people are going to think that you're unsavory too. Like guilt by association is a thing.
oh, for real. Yeah, I know. I had that with WrestleJoy, who, yeah, I know. My luck, right? um, but yeah, it is a very. It's again like it can be like stressful, but like you need to like kind of cleanse the industry of that. Not even just like those particular people, but just that like mindset of like
Yes, you do.
letting that stuff slide.
Yeah,
Um,
you can't let that stuff slide anymore because when you let it slide once, it just goes out of control. Because I think when you let one thing slide, when does it stop? So
yeah.
you got to catch it early and you got to squash
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. All right. Do you have any merch you want to plug?
it. Yeah, sure. So if you find me on the table, there's a bunch of stuff there. I do have some online exclusives. So my online store is at whatamaneuver.com. You can just type in O'Shea with the search bar, and there's gonna be stuff on there that has been discontinued off of my table. I still continue to sell it online. There's stuff that you will find at my table that you won't find online, like my ammo pins. I have sticker packs and all that good stuff, and I have a limited supply of one-off stickers that I have been hoarding for a while. I think I have maybe like 9 left, And once these are gone, I am never making these ever again. And if somebody can find me and say my secret phrase, and you can't say it out loud, they have to whisper it in my ear, I will give them one of those stickers. And no one knows what this phrase is, so I'm going to say it once,
Okay.
and that's it. So if somebody's watching this, they hear it, and they can find me, whisper it in my ear, no questions asked, I will give them this free sticker that no one else has. So if somebody can come to me and whisper, Hail Hydra in my ear, I will give them the sticker.
All right.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all I have to do.
That won't look suspicious.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time your day to talk to me.
Trust me, I got nothing going on. This is all broken my day up perfect.
Busy day in the bubble.
That's it. That's a busy day in the bubble. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Bye. I'm really bad at signing off.